And you know what? There sure are a lot of people running to be president. Man, a whole lot of people want to be president. More people want to be president this year than ever before, it seems. I mean, we got more people running to be president than we got the cast of The Walking Dead, the cast of The Chi, and the cast of Game of Thrones. I'm not talking about extras. I mean the main people that you remember. Right? That's a lot of people. I don't care who you are. And to think, if you're running, you got to compete against all these people. Doesn't it make sense that if you're trying to run for a job and you got to compete against 23 other people, that it may be a little harder to do than when you only got 3 people to compete against and 2 of them drop out? So it's just 1. See, you and I, we realize this because we're reasonable people. We're thinking people. And we're not being paid to be liars or spin false narratives or to pretend. Bernie Sanders went on State of the Union with Jake Tapper, but Jake Tapper wasn't there, so Bernie had to talk to Dana Bash. And we all know how much Dana Bash likes Bernie Sanders. Oh, man, it's just a love fest. I'm going to run this clip, but I want you to think about it. Think about this. Imagine if you're a kickboxer and you got to go and compete against 4 people. That's a lot better than if you got to go in and compete against 24 people, right? All right, I'm just checking. Just checking because Dana Bash doesn't understand, but luckily Bernie Sanders will explain math to her.
As Democratic candidates try to get traction with Iowa voters, we have a brand new poll from CNN and the Des Moines Register laying out the state of the race. Here it is. Just 5 candidates hit above 2% in the poll. Joe Biden maintained his slot at 24%. Senator Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and Mayor Pete Buttigieg are all virtually tied in a 3-way race for second place. 16, 15, 14, respectively. Senator Kamala Harris comes in 5th with 7% before a sharp drop to the rest of the field. And I want to get straight to Iowa now for our exclusive interview with presidential candidate currently in 2nd place, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Good morning, Senator. Thank you so much for joining me. We have so many issues to talk to, but first I want to get your reaction to what you just heard, our new poll in Iowa. You are not in the second tier on your own anymore. Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, right there with you. And Warren is on top among liberal caucus goers. It seems maybe you've lost your position as the clear progressive alternative to Joe Biden in Iowa. Why?
Well, Dana, what I think is that 4 years ago, there were only 2 of us in the race, and we split the vote about 50% each. This time we got a whole lot of candidates, and I don't think anybody is going to reach 50%. But I got to tell you, we have an incredibly strong volunteer network here in Iowa. We just did several town meetings yesterday, large turnouts, and the issues that we are talking about, the fact that the working class of this country is sick and tired of working longer hours for low wages, worried about the standard of living that their kids will have, worried about climate change, worried that almost all new income and wealth is going to the top 1%. Those are issues that will resonate in Iowa. Those are issues that are going to resonate all over this country. The American people, in my very strong belief, want a government and an economy that works for everybody, not just the 1%. So we're not going to get 50% of the vote in Iowa. I don't think anybody will. I think we have an excellent chance to win here. We're going to win in New Hampshire, and I think we have a very strong chance of being the candidate who will defeat the worst president in the modern history of this country, Donald Trump.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the issues before.
Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. My bad. Send. Okay. I was just ordering Dana Bash a sandwich because it looks like Bernie Sanders ate her lunch. Oh! Why does it seem like whenever Bernie Sanders gets a good one off, that's when they want to change the subject? Like, I thought you wanted to talk about why Bernie wasn't, beating the field with 48% right now. What? All of a sudden, we want to talk about other stuff now that Bernie hit you with a lot of, reason and logic. Now there's no time to conversate. Now we need to go talk about the Olympics or something else, Dana Bash. Look, obviously, 2016 is different than 2019, or 2020 will be obviously very much different because, well, last time, Dana, we had 4 candidates, 3 of which no one knew, and that's including Bernie, because no one really knew who Bernie was unless you were really a political junkie type person, and you had Martin O'Malley, and you had Jim Webb, obscure people. Also, a guy named Lincoln Chafee, who I still forget to this day. Where is Lincoln Chafee? And you had Hillary Clinton. It was a totally different race. Then it came down to just Bernie and Hillary Clinton. So then, once again, totally different race than we have now. Now we have prominent Democrats running with a lot of name recognition. Totally different scenario. And we have a market of so many different people, and that may appear or appeal to certain people who might come out, particularly people in the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire caucuses and the Nevada caucus. So it's to be understandable that no candidate's going to do over 50% against all the other candidates. I mean, say what we want to say about Kamala Harris. There are going to be people that like her. There are going to be people that like Elizabeth Warren. There are going to be people that like Joe Biden. There are going to be people that like Andrew Yang, obviously, which I've been learning. There's a lot of Yang support out there. At least online there are. There are going to be people that like Tulsi Gabbard. There are going to be a lot of support for a lot of different candidates, and no candidate's going to get over 50%. To think that they would be ridiculous. So the strategy now is not to think that you're just going to blow away the field in such a way. And look at Biden. He went from like 30%, 35% down to 20-something%. And that's even if you believe the polls, which I'm not saying I believe the polls are 100% accurate. In fact, we know no poll is 100% accurate. One of the things no one wants to mention is the fact that Bernie Sanders has the infrastructure in place to run a race all the way to the end. He has offices in every state. He has over 1 million volunteers, 1 million strong. He has an app, for God's sake, an app full of volunteers and watch parties. Do you think Juan Castillo has that? Do you think Amy Klobuchar? No, she doesn't. I'll save you the time. I could go down the list. Jay Inslee doesn't have that. So these strong points that they could be talking about with Bernie Sanders are never discussed. Also never discussed by Dana Bash or CNN is how many people have moved to Bernie's policies. Now, I don't know if they plan to actually champion for Bernie's policies, but they've all pretty much adopted Bernie's policies. Where I come from, that would mean Bernie's your daddy. He birthed y'all candidates. Like you guys look like his seed. In fact, the only time anyone pays any attention to Beto O'Rourke is when he's getting bad publicity. And all the other times, he's showing up sounding like he's Sanders' son. Dad, is it okay if I take the car out? Okay, Dad? That's what they are. All of them are little Bernies. Even Elizabeth Warren. I said it. It looks like what's going to happen is that the mainstream media, corporate media, is going to continue to play this game where the polls say that Bernie's not dominating the field when he is dominating the field, as they prop up every corporate Democrat, every milquetoast candidate, every middle-of-the-road candidate they can find until they have to settle and realize either they want Donald Trump to two-peat or they're going to get behind someone who can actually get it done, which is going to be either Bernie Sanders or Tulsi Gabbard in my book. So, as these corporate media entities like Dana Bash and Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid and Chris Matthews all start pulling for the establishment flavor of the month, there will still be a Bernie Sanders with massive support across the political spectrum with issues that matter to the voters, not to the corporations. All right. That's it. Follow me at Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. Also, become a member of my Wolf Pack. Do that now. Remember, we speak truth to power every day, all day.